So TikTok is freaking out about cakes. People are getting canceled. Everyone's fighting over cake. We're gonna look into all of this ridiculousness. We're gonna go over both sides of the story here. I'll let you know what I think, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. But first, let's roll that disclaimer. Hello and welcome back. Hey, here's the thing. Walmart apparently started making heart-shaped cakes and everyone freaked out. I don't need to tell you who Walmart is, what Walmart is. I think we all know what Walmart is.
It's like they sell wall stuff?
But they made the home baker community really upset this Valentine's Day by offering heart-shaped cakes, and things just kind of went off the rails. One TikToker named the Fantasy Bakery TFB on TikTok, they have 1.2 million followers. They posted a video. As of right now, it's up to almost 6 million views. And now she's like taking a lot of heat for what she said in this video, prompting hundreds of people all over TikTok to start defending Walmart. Like, it's wild. So as exciting as this TikTok drama is, and as anxious as I am to talk about all of it, first, let's calm down a little bit and talk about the sponsor of today's video, June's Journey. Set in the glamour of the 1920s, June's Journey is a mobile game where you help June Parker uncover the truth behind her sister's mysterious murder. You'll progress through this exciting murder mystery storyline by finding hidden objects in these beautifully crafted scenes, meeting a variety of well-designed characters along the way. You can also customize your own mansion and garden island. You can join a club, or you can participate in the game's many in-app events. And the best part is, you can play this game for free. I spend a lot of my downtime playing like relaxing puzzle games just to help me unwind at the end of a chaotic day. And June's Journey is a lot of fun, and I really enjoy immersing myself in the visually stunning art. If you're ready to jump in and discover June's Journey today, you can download it for free by clicking the link in the description, or you can scan this QR code right here. June's Journey is available on Android, iOS, and PC. Thank you so much, June's Journey, for sponsoring today's video. I hope you guys go download it. It's really fun. Now let's talk about some cake. Cake drama. So, from what I'm gathering, the video we're about to watch is what kind of started this whole debacle. Like I mentioned, this TFB bakery has over 1 million followers, and they posted this video that got nearly 6 million views. It made a lot of people mad, so let's watch it and see what made everybody so upset.
These Walmart cakes are getting so out of hand. The fact that you can purchase a vintage heart cake for $5 to $25 is insane, considering sometimes ingredients alone cost $25 to $35. And that's not even mentioning other supplies like the cake boxes, cake boards, cake toppers, edible images. You have to remember that the people working there are getting paid minimum wage, even the bakers. So the supplies they use to make your cakes are provided to them by the company. They do not have to pay anything out of pocket, and that makes a big difference. And whether anyone likes to admit it or not, they really are not as neat as some other small businesses that I've seen, which is totally understandable because they do work at a much faster pace. And I've noticed a lot of the times they do not crumb coat their cakes, they don't fill their cakes the way that we do. So yeah, naturally their results are going to be a lot different than the rest of ours. I think it's great that there are more affordable options for people, because I understand these cakes are really expensive and they are a luxury. So if you can find something that you desire for a much cheaper price, of course it's only natural that you would go and get it. I would do the same. The issue is that A, the products are incomparable, and B, people think that small businesses need to charge the way that big companies charge. And that's just not realistic. We will not be able to make a livable profit if we work like that.
Okay, so first of all, there were definitely some things in this video that makes the average person go, what? I think one thing you should know, and something I probably should have mentioned before this, but I actually used to be a cake decorator. My first job was at Baskin-Robbins, and for the first like 8 months I was just scooping ice cream. But eventually I got into the cake decorating, and this is, by the way, I was 16 years old. Maybe by the time I started doing cake decorating I was 17, but I loved it because that job just required that I go into the back and make cakes by myself and not worry about anything. For the most part it was nice because like I didn't really have to talk to anybody. I could take the cake orders, they tell me what they want, I make the cake. easy. And it was creative, it was fun. My manager was terrible, but you know what? The cake decorating part of that job was so much fun. Was I only getting paid $6.75 an hour? Yup. But that, from what I understand, is not actually like the norm in cake decorating world. Long after I stopped working at Baskin Robbins, like I've been to other Baskin Robbins and they'll have their cake decorators like cards up on the front counter like they are professional cake decorators by trade. And obviously minimum wage is federally what, $7.25 now, but I would be willing to bet that these specialty cake decorators, people who know what the hell they're doing, are getting paid a lot more than that. They're not going to Baskin Robbins and scooping ice cream. They're not going to Walmart and stocking shelves. Like, this is what they do. They're cake decorators. And it is a skill. It absolutely is. It takes practice. So I just want you to know that, like, I'm coming from a place of where I literally used to be a teenage professional cake decorator, and I still, like, I make my kids' birthday cakes and stuff too, using all the skills and the knowledge I learned from my first job as a Baskin Robbins cake decorator. And I am like actually super grateful for having that job, because despite how awful my manager was, like I found a hobby that I really like through it. So now she does make a good point here, I will say, and she brings up the cost of ingredients itself can be like $35 just for the ingredients. And she's right. So like at one point I had a coworker who was pregnant. I made her a cake for our little like at work baby shower we were having for her. People loved it. And then I had another coworker who saw that cake and they were getting married and they hit me up and they're like, can you make my husband like his own little like wedding cake? They wanted it like a checkerboard cake, which I had never done before, but I was like, I've seen the tutorials, I know I could do it, whatever. And so I told her I could do it for her, and I told her it'd be $50, and she did not go with me. Which I understand, because quite frankly I'm not a professional cake decorator anymore. I do it for fun. But the $50 that I was charging, I mean, I don't think that people really understand like how expensive this stuff can be, especially if you're making everything from scratch. So she is correct about that, but she's also correct about cake decorators who work for Walmart. Obviously, they don't have to pay for all that out of pocket. They just go to the back room in the bakery and they make cakes with all of the supplies that Walmart already gives them. They definitely don't pay as much for the ingredients that like your average Joe would, your average home baker would. Your home baker has to go to Walmart and buy all that stuff at full price, or Kroger or whatever. So she's right, and that is partially why Walmart is able to sell these cakes for the prices that they do. And plus, yeah, I'm sure the Walmart cake decorators are probably getting paid an hourly wage. So when she says like, oh yeah, they all just get paid minimum wage, I don't know that that's true. I can't imagine that a cashier at Walmart is getting paid the same amount as someone who does all the baking and cake decorating, you know? It just doesn't make sense to me. So people kind of got up this girl's butt too for saying that birthday cakes are a luxury. I don't know. I feel like it's like a cultural thing at this point, which, I mean, it's not like you need it to survive, but I feel like if you go to a birthday party and there's no cake, especially a kid's birthday party or something, like, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even a birthday party. If you try to throw a birthday party in The Sims without a cake, it will tell you need to make a cake. Because that's like the main goal, is to blow out the candles on a cake. You need a cake. It's like a cultural thing. I see what she means though, like buying a more expensive cake because you want something special, you want something super customized, like some obscure flavor, something that Walmart really can't and does not offer, then I understand. Then yeah, like, okay, you're paying extra for something that's gonna be more customizable, I guess, but like, I don't think that that's the case for most people. I think for the most part, it's like you're either a white cake or a chocolate cake girly, or like at Walmart or Kroger or whatever, you can find like red velvet, the swirl cakes and stuff, but there really isn't like that big of a flavor customization option. But I mean, if you want like some exotic shit, or like a rum cake, rum cakes are good, but you're not gonna get that at Walmart. There are situations where like I totally understand paying more for a cake. And none of this is to defend Walmart, because oh my god, yeah, my husband and I even had the talk about like not wanting to give our money to Walmart anymore for multiple reasons we don't have to talk about, but ultimately we can't really afford to do anything else. Like, I'm not gonna blast my financial issues all over YouTube, but like, like Walmart is convenient. They do the grocery deliveries, which I do have to pay extra to tip the delivery people. And that is a luxury for sure. But I do that because going to a grocery store with kids is dangerous. You end up spending way more than you want to when you bring kids to a grocery store. They're always picking out everything. And it's just like, it's a time sucker. I prefer to just place an order and have someone bring it to me. But we live in a world right now where like people can't afford to go drop $150 on a cake that's gonna feed less than 10 people. I think that's where a lot of the criticism started coming in with what this woman was saying. Girl, that's cool that you have your craft and you have customers and you sell your cakes and life is good over there, but most of us can't afford to hire you. I understand like special occasions like a wedding cake or something like that. Yeah, people pay a lot of money for wedding cakes, but that's not what we're talking about. Like, we're talking about walking into a Walmart and seeing a display of heart-shaped cakes and Valentine's Day cupcakes and freaking out over it. Oh, and also another thing that pissed people off is that she was basically implying that Walmart cake decorators aren't as skilled as she is, basically. But I was just looking through TikTok and there are legitimate Walmart cake decorators who have TikTok accounts who just film themselves making cakes, and they're cute, dude. I will admit that this girl, when you look at the cakes that she makes and the cake that we watched her make in that video, is it adorable? Yes. Does it taste good? Probably. It should, if you're gonna pay a premium price for it, I guess. Is there a beautiful attention to detail? Yes. Does her piping look pristine? Yes. Everything she's doing looks amazing. But you can't get mad at someone for being like, I can get something very similar at Walmart and it's gonna taste fine, people will be happy with it, my party guests will be happy with it, and I'll be saving like $100. As much as, you know, I love to support small businesses here and I understand the work it takes to decorate a cake and to make everything from scratch and how much it can cost and how much time it takes, whatever, I get all of that, but we have to be realistic, sis. None of us can afford shit. Also, generally, unless you're following a special recipe, like even cake box mixes, you need eggs for it, and girl, they are $12 a dozen at my local, I think Kroger is what my husband told me when he went the other day. He's like, yeah, $12 for a dozen of eggs. I'm like, fuck that, man. The cost of ingredients are only getting more expensive. Even if you use a box mix, after buying all of the frosting and the cake board and the cake boxes, which those are expensive as hell for whatever reason, it's like, it's just cardboard, but no, they're expensive. After you buy all that stuff, it's probably gonna cost you more than $25, so you might as well just have Walmart do it for you. And I know, I understand, like, I don't like the idea of giving my money to Walmart, but right now, at least in my financial situation, in so many other people's financial situations, we can't afford to do anything other than Walmart. That's the world we're living in. That's our fucking reality right now. As much as I wish I could hire an at-home cake decorator, there's no way I'd be able to afford it. They would never be able to offer the same prices as Walmart does. It sucks. It's a capitalist hellscape that we live in right now. Corporations have the upper hand. They have for a long time, but only recently it's just getting even harder to compete with them. And I don't see that getting better anytime soon. We're not going to get into all that, but it just almost feels like she is insulting people for not being able to afford to pay $150 for the same cake that you can get at Walmart for $25. Anyway, let's watch some more videos. Here is her response after all of the backlash started happening.
Let's make this burn away gender reveal cake while I address some of the hate comments that I got in my previous video. Before I start, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry if I offended anyone at all. There was only a few people in my comments who actually understood where I was coming from, so I guess that means I did not deliver my message right. Anyway, the video was not against anyone who can't afford my cakes. The video was against people who compare small businesses to big corporations. That market is a multi-billion-dollar company, so obviously they can afford to price and sell things a lot differently than me. That was all. I am on the same boat as the rest of you guys, believe me. The only thing that I will take back is my comment on the skills of some of the cakers. That was uncalled for. I don't know why I even mentioned that because I've seen with my own two eyes the talent that some of them do carry. And my comment about their minimum wage, I genuinely from the bottom of my heart thought that everyone in that market gets paid minimum wage. That's just what I'm used to in America. Now let's address the word luxury. I did not mean that my cakes are so luxurious compared to Walmart. I meant that cakes in general are a luxury and not a necessity, whether they're expensive or inexpensive. And now that that's out of the way, let's watch my customer's reveal video. From my experience with other customers, the colorful flowers around the cake represent what's called a rainbow baby, so everyone just send her prayers and love.
I mean, I will honestly say, coming from an influencer standpoint, I don't necessarily feel like her original video was like mean or rude. Like, her tone was fine. It's more like the words she was saying could be condescending in a lot of ways, but like she wasn't being a bitch about it. And I will say that I feel like this apology video, like, I think she handled it well. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, we need to cancel this lady. Like, I don't think so. And her cakes are cute. They're objectively cute. I've never seen a burn away gender reveal cake before. Like, that's a cute idea. I don't know if she made that up or what, but it's a cute idea. She does a good job. But she clearly was speaking out of a place of ignorance, which is weird because, like, this is her job. Like, you shouldn't be ignorant about the industry that you work and operate a small business in. Like, I mean, obviously, we see that all the time because on this channel, I cover multi-level marketing, and no one is qualified to be selling the products and pushing the shit that they do in like 9 out of 10 of these companies. So it's certainly not unheard of to see people selling things and talking things up that they're ignorant about, I guess. But for her to be like, oh, I didn't know that like people who work for bigger corporations doing cake decorating, like, I didn't know that they were also being paid like semi-decently. I mean, I will say, you know, like I was saying earlier, when I worked for Baskin Robbins, I was being paid basically minimum wage, what it was back then. I'm old. The other thing is too, is that like not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone wants to have the skill of cake decorating and baking and like make a small business out of it, because that's so much. When you're working for Walmart, you have the protection of Walmart. You know, can it be rewarding to have your own small business? Yeah, especially if you're really good at what you do. This lady, she's good at what she does, clearly. But not everyone wants that. Not everyone is cut out for that. Not everyone wants to be their own boss. Some people want to clock in, do their job, clock out, and go live their life. And I think that's totally valid. So it feels almost like, I don't want to say elitist, but like in a way it kind of is, to like shame people who like choose to work in a grocery store, bakery, or something like that, instead of taking their skills outside and trying to do their own thing with them. Managing employees, managing a business, like all of the startup costs that it would take to start a business like that, it's not for everybody. So like, if you want to be a Walmart cake decorator, be a Walmart cake decorator, and I'm not gonna shame you for it at all. I think it's valid, no matter what you choose to do. If you want to go start your own cake business, do it. But like, not everyone wants to. Congratulations to this woman for being good enough at what she does to be able to have a thriving bakery and cake decorating business, but that's just not for everybody. And it's not even a matter of laziness. It's just kind of like, it's a lot to manage, and some people just don't have like the mental capacity to have employees and stuff, like manage payroll. You know, that's a whole other skill that like some people just like don't have, and they have no desire to have them, and it's totally fine. She made one more video on the topic, so let's listen to that.
You know what I've realized in my last 2 posts is that people really need to start taking some relaxation lessons. Because why are we outraged about an unethical multi-billion-dollar company in the first place that I thought we were all boycotting? I swear one girl commented, you know, I've been boycotting that place, but because you posted this video, I'm gonna go and purchase from them. And then people were calling me a fake activist because I said someone gets paid minimum wage when they don't. Like, make that make sense. I don't know, I'm failing to understand what exactly I said that was so wrong. I corrected myself in my second post, but regardless, there are more serious issues in this country that we all need to be heated over. I don't understand why people are in such a pickle over a cake. And some people were saying, don't ever support her business, she doesn't deserve it. Oh, I was thinking about getting something from you and I changed my mind. Girl, I'm booked and busy. Thanks, but no thanks. I did not know it was a crime to know your worth in 2025.
So this is where I think the elitism accusations kind of come in, because she's just like, what? I thought we were all going to boycott Walmart anyway. And again, like I was saying, like I would love to boycott Walmart, but like realistically, most of us can't afford to do that. Walmart is our most affordable option, our most convenient option, and the world fucking sucks right now. I'm not gonna shame anyone for still shopping at Walmart because, like, I totally understand. I have the same ethical and moral, like, speed bumps when it comes to the idea of giving money to Walmart, but, like, it's all I can afford right now, honestly. And it's convenient to me as a mother of 2 kids. Do I feel like, you know, some of these comments that she's reading off, like, are kind of, like, ridiculous? Yeah. I think people got too mad over this when, quite frankly, she is entitled to her opinion. Does it come from a place of maybe not understanding like how tough it is out here for a lot of people right now? I mean, it's easy for you to say if you have 1 million followers on TikTok and you make luxury customizable cakes for people. Yeah, like at that point it's just kind of like check yourself a little bit. But I do think that people like really are getting mad for kind of unjustifiable reasons. So let's watch some of the people who are speaking out about this.
You need to mind the business that pays you, and if these people aren't buying cakes from you, then it ain't your business. Baker shaming people from buying heart cakes from Walmart is ridiculous. That shouldn't even be a thing. I love that Walmart makes heart cakes. I think it's practical, it's convenient, and they're cute. Just like you have a right to charge whatever you deem is worth for your product, people have a right to spend that money on you or not. Not everybody wants to shop small, and not everybody can afford to shop small either. I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, but it is not that deep. It is just cake. There are not many things that piss me off in the baking community, but I cannot stand when a baker starts trashing grocery store cake decorators. Because I'm failing to see what that person doing their job has to do with you. I couldn't hold a candle to the way some of these cake decorators make buttercream flowers, and when they write on cakes, I could never. Some of those cake decorators are very talented. Maybe they work at a grocery store because they like stability. Maybe they know if they work for themselves, they're going to have to be convincing people to purchase their expensive ass cakes, and they don't want to do that. I get it. I'm a frustrated baker too. This is a shitty market that we're in right now with inflation, but this is not the way to go about it.
Period. Like, I feel like I don't really need to say anything else. You have someone who does the exact same job, maybe in their kitchen instead of at a legitimate brick and mortar bakery, but like they're doing the same job and literally being like, girl, what?
As a baker that used to sell my goods and make everything from scratch, cookies, cakes, cupcakes, cheesecake, tiramisu, you name it, I don't understand why the $25 Walmart vintage heart cake is getting a lot of hate, as well as the decorators who make them. And here's the thing, as a baker myself, I completely understand other people judging your prices and not understanding why you have to charge the way you charge. And I think this goes with other service-based things as well, such as hairstylists and nail techs. It's definitely an ongoing investment, and there are a lot of time that is not accounted for that we spend cleaning. But instead of having a productive conversation and trying to educate your viewers, instead there's this sound going around depicting these feelings of resentment onto the customers and the people that are selling these affordable cakes. Instead of advocating for yourself, you're undermining the work of other people. And at the same time, you're calling the customers broke. The quality of these Walmart cakes are sometimes just as good, especially considering that a lot of home bakers don't make their things from scratch. And I definitely think it goes both ways, because sometimes commenters will be under people's videos saying, oh, you should be charging a lot more for this. And then when they do, it's like crickets. But you have to realize those are not your customers. Those are just regular people that will probably never buy from you.
I like the way this girl put it, like feelings of resentment towards the customers who are choosing to buy from Walmart instead of you. And in the case of that TFB bakery girl on TikTok, like she said all that and then backtracked on that last video of hers that we watched with the yellow and red cake, and she was just kind of like, girl, I'm booked and busy. I don't care. It's like, it sounds like you care. Like, why would you make that video and put that commentary behind you making a heart cake if you didn't care? Like, I think you care. And there is nothing wrong with knowing your worth and charging accordingly. I don't think that's the problem here. I think just like coming from like a lower middle class hellscape that we're living in right now, like I think it just comes down to shaming people for going a more affordable route when like that's really how we're out here surviving right now. So I don't know. I do see both sides though. I think small businesses should be able to charge what they're worth, but like don't shame other people for spending their hard-earned money the way they see fit. Also, like I find it interesting that this girl was like, a lot of home bakers use box mixes, like they don't even make things from scratch themselves, and I find that so interesting. Like I understand if it's just like a hobby or you're making your kids' birthday cakes or something, but if this is like your full-on business, I find it hard to justify such a heavy price point if you're really not doing anything special, aka you're making a box mix, and then of course the skill comes in. Yeah, you pay for the skill, of course, but like if you're not offering like customizable fillings and flavors and stuff and like making them from scratch with your own recipes and stuff, like what is setting you apart aside from like how pretty your cakes look, which is an important part of a cake, like don't get me wrong, but just the idea of someone charging $150 for a tiny little heart cake when they may have possibly used a $1.50 Pillsbury cake mix, like I don't know, I find that odd. But hey, if people want to pay for it and you're transparent about it, see, that's the thing. I guess at least if you're transparent, being like, yeah, I just use like Duncan Hines or whatever, okay, fine. But then it seems like your price should be not as high because you're not using like premium custom ingredients. I don't know. Now this video is super interesting because this lady, and I lurked her TikTok and everything, she makes very expensive cakes for people. You're gonna see here that she's gonna give us a price on the cake that she's making in the video. On her TikTok, she has like a lot of videos like, let's make a $1,500 wedding cake. Wedding cakes are obviously gonna be different, but her perspective on this, given the fact that she does charge a premium price for her cakes, her opinion on this matter, I think, is worth listening to.
Let's make a $125 6-inch heart cake. These serve 10 to 12, and this is currently the only item on my menu that is all-inclusive pricing, meaning you can pick out any flavor, any filling, any frosting, almost any toppings, and the price stays at $125. I guess it's mostly inclusive because if you choose fresh flowers that I have to go and buy, I will charge extra for that. But everything that you see on this cake was within the $125 price. And that also includes delivery. I know that there has been a ton of discourse on TikTok lately regarding Walmart heart cakes, and I honestly kind of hate the take that home bakers have, which is kind of like putting down Walmart cakes. Number one, I love that Walmart offers cakes for people that are working within a budget because everyone still deserves to have access to beautiful, delicious cakes. And number two, I really hate the idea that Walmart cake decorators cannot or are not talented. I find that to be completely untrue. And if starting your own bakery is not within reach for you, doing something like being a Walmart cake decorator can be very fulfilling. So while my price is 5 times that of Walmart, I am not here to put Walmart cakes down. Lord knows they're delicious and can be very beautiful too.
Was that cake beautiful, adorable, cute? Yes. Would I pay $125 for it? Absolutely not. However, if you would pay $125 for it, great. Good for you. Do that. She clearly has a customer base who is willing to do that. I mean, like, looking at her cake, though, I mean, not to be a hater or anything, but, like, there's, like, bumps in the icing, you know? Like, it's not, like, a completely smooth application, so I'm like, I don't know. I guess if people are paying for it, cool. And she covers most of it with frosting, so maybe that's why, but it just, like, it seems like if you're gonna charge that much for a cake, like, maybe the attention to detail should be a little bit higher. But regardless, the cake is cute. Can you get something like this from Walmart? Yeah, I mean, it looks like she has little like fondant mushrooms that she made, which fondant can be a little bit expensive. She obviously has like little like sticks and butterflies and stuff, but like there's no way that those cost that much unless those butterflies are like edible, like made out of chocolate or something. I'm not saying Walmart couldn't offer something like that, but she does also say, you know, it can be any flavor, any filling, whatever you want. And I would imagine that this particular baker probably has a lot more like customizable options than Walmart would. So no shame to anyone who wants to spend that money on a cake like this. To me, I would never do it. I mean, I don't want to say never, because if I had the money and could afford to hire people to make cakes for me and pay that steep premium price, I would. I don't ever think I will ever find myself in that financially abundant situation, so I don't ever see that for myself ever happening. Not for lack of trying, but like, come on, let's be honest here. It's just not in my budget. It's not in my lifestyle. But if it's in yours, that's great. And I feel like that's kind of the vibes that this girl was giving too. She's just like, hey, no shame here. I charge $125 for this cake. Here's why. But also, let's not shame Walmart employees for the work they do when clearly they do good work. And to accentuate that fact, here's this video.
I've been seeing a lot of mixed reviews about the heart-shaped cakes from Walmart. So I should have checked it at the store to make sure that it was correct, but I did not, so I could do a review for you guys. I don't even remember what I got on here. So this is a pink heart 10-inch round cake with white bottom, white cake flavor, buttercream icing, and it should say girls only for my Valentine's Day. So let's see. I love it. It's actually really cute. It's actually so cute. I was nervous about the writing too because I saw a lot of places Walmart's botched the writing. This is so cute. They added like all this detail that I did not know that they would add. The writing is in white, obviously. This is so cute, and it was only $30, $29.98. I ordered it ahead online and picked it up at the bakery. It was so easy. I got a text when it was ready. So easy. Here she is. I love her, honestly. The writing is not perfect, but I mean, it's not bad at all. To me. I love her. No slander.
I love her, no slander. I mean, I'm looking at that cake and I'm like, yeah, it looks cute. It's not as detailed, it's not as, like, busy, I guess, as some of the other cakes that, you know, we see these home bakers making, but like, that's fine. That cake is fine, you know? I'm sure if she like brought in a picture of one of these people's cakes with like all of the details and like, I want this piping here and I want these like sprinkles here and whatever, I'm sure Walmart could probably add more to it to make it look like a more expensive cake if you asked them to. But like she even said, like they added a bunch of details that I didn't even know they were going to. They used like a little rhinestone ribbon around the bottom, which I'm like, they probably just pulled that off of Walmart's craft shelves. Like, that's cool. But this girl is proof that it's like, okay, is it the most like luxurious and expensive looking cake in the world? No, but for $30 you really can't beat it. This guy is funny. This is a joke, so don't get your panties in a wad when he starts talking. I've seen a lot of people clipping this guy because they like his point of view on all this.
What annoys me about those Walmart cakes is that you guys really affect my business when you buy a $20 one from them versus a $150 one from me. Who wakes up and says, I want a cake made by a Walmart employee? You see, when you get a cake made by a Walmart employee, this is what you're getting. It's not made with love. It's mass production, and you are just a statistic, a number to the corporation. But when you get it made with me, you're going to get ripped off. The cake is going to weigh 5 pounds. Remember that, 5 pounds. 2 pounds of that are going to be disgusting buttercream that nobody wants. Another 2 pounds are going to be fondant. Again, nobody wants that. And then 1 pound is going to be the actual cake with ingredients that I got from Walmart. So, in conclusion, I think you guys really should just learn to start supporting your local bakers. Because again, why would you go to Walmart and get something that's delicious and affordable and reasonable, and you're helping an employee because you're keeping their store in business, which is giving them job security? Why would you do that versus buy the cake from me at 7.5 times the cost?
First of all, I don't appreciate the fondant slander. I love fondant, but I'm like the only person I know who like actually likes fondant. I like the texture of it on like a nice soft cake and then just like a little bit of like a chewy, I don't know. People are gonna come at me for that. I love fondant. Plus it looks really nice. Fondant looks great. You want to talk shit about gross fondant that no one wants? I'll eat your fondant. So he obviously does a little bit of painting home bakers with a broad brush by saying if you buy from a home baker or a small business baker, you're gonna get ripped off. I don't necessarily think it's fair to say that, but I do also agree that I'm sure there are home bakers and small businesses that do charge like way beyond the cost of materials and ingredients and stuff. But of course, the time you put into it is worth charging for also. Like, you gotta get paid for your time. And if you don't have a giant corporation looking over you, making sure that they're feeding you a paycheck, no matter how big or how small that paycheck is, you have to advocate for yourself in that way. And that's why prices are more expensive. So, but I don't know, a lot of people seem to be resonating with this guy and appreciating what he has to say. I have one more here that we can look at.
I really wanted to elaborate a little bit more on the Walmart cake. The thing with the cake is, like, I've bought Walmart cake over the years because, you know, I have a daughter. As she was growing up, I've bought the sheet cake. I've done, you know, the cupcake cakes. The reality is, I think right now is that a lot of these bakers, because their prices are so exorbitantly priced, and they think that, you know, they're doing something special. Like I saw somebody say, when we decorate our cakes and when we make our cakes with love and all this other stuff. Well, I kind of do feel like the people who work at the bakery in Walmart also do the same thing. And then also, I saw someone comment and said that they were surprised at the decorating skills. And I'm sitting here like, they're decorating a cake and they do a good job at decorating their cake. They may not put all those extra foo-foo-y stuff that we see some of these home bakers put on their cakes, but they are actually decorating a cake that looks good, that is very pleasing. And, you know, I don't see what the beef is. Buy that cake, y'all. I'm gonna find a picture of my daughter's 19th birthday cake to add to this conversation. And because yes, I paid at least $150 for that cake. Let me see if I find a picture. This is my daughter's 19th birthday cake that I ordered from a baker. It tasted absolutely amazing, but I paid $150 for this. This is what she wanted, so yeah, I'm just saying. It looks just... If I had went and picked this up from Walmart for her, had I known they were doing Walmart heart cakes back then, I would have trucked right along to Walmart and got that. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I don't know. That's her cake. I paid $150 for that.
I really like that woman. I think she has a lot of good points for sure. To be like, the reason our cakes are so expensive is because we make our cakes with love is implying that cake decorators at Walmart don't make their cakes with love. They're just like these factory workers essentially who just like mind-numbingly just like do their jobs, and they're like little zombies just making cakes like a assembly line. And it's like, it's just not like that. Cake decorating is an art, and I'm telling you right now, if it's something that you don't enjoy doing, then you're not going to make a job out of it. Like, cake decorating is messy, really messy. It takes a lot of cleaning. It takes a lot of actual like precision and skill and stuff. Like, if you have shaky hands, like, you're not gonna be a very good cake decorator. There are so many different kind of shells that you need to know how to pipe, and even the cake decorators at Walmart know how to do that too. I'm telling you, if they're working that job, they like that job. It's probably for them, and this is how it was for me. I liked it being a creative outlet for me. It doesn't matter where you're working. If you're doing the job of a cake decorator, it's because you find value in it. And probably because you're good at it. Because if your cakes look like shit, you're not going to hold down a job anywhere for very long. So I think a lot of the people who do their own small businesses doing cakes and stuff, I think a lot of them may have gotten like professional training, like, or gone to like baking school and stuff, because guys, baking is hard. Like, I love cake decorating, but I am a terrible baker. So that's like another thing. It's like, I really couldn't do my own business because like, I'm not good at baking. It's a freaking science, man. You gotta like measure stuff like exactly, or else things don't turn out right. And yeah, some people aren't very good at that, but if they are doing it and they're doing it successfully, it's because they like it. When it comes to jobs like this, like skilled work, no matter where you're working, it's still skilled and can be rewarding to the people who do that work. So in conclusion, I think TFB cakes shouldn't be canceled for what they said. I think maybe they needed to check themselves a little bit before saying a lot of the stuff that they said. But in general, it's just kind of like, who cares? At the end of all of this, it's just cake. And I hope to someday get to a point where maybe I can afford to stop shopping at Walmart and giving my money to Walmart, and maybe I can afford to stop using Amazon for certain things. Like, there are moral and ethical issues with giving money to giant corporations, and I totally get it, and I absolutely agree, but we have to leave space for people who can't afford anything else. That's just the reality of the world right now. Not just America. Well, America's fucked up in its own ways, but like, I mean, inflation is worldwide right now. Some places worse than others, but you know, we cannot sit here and try to make people feel like they're doing something wrong simply because they're doing the most affordable option for them and they're staying within whatever budgets they have. Is cake a luxury? I guess technically, sure, yeah, you don't need it to survive, but culturally, I feel like, you know, birthday parties need a birthday cake. TFB's cakes are probably even more of what would be considered a luxury, because you can have a cake and then you can have like a really like artisan beautiful cake or whatever. And that, yeah, I could say it could be a luxury because like you're paying extra for something just like to aesthetically look nice. But to be like, having a cake is a luxury and therefore you should be paying luxurious prices is just kind of like, no, dude. Like, I think she's definitely in the wrong on that. I don't think it's worth canceling her over, Let the girl make some cakes. She's good at it. Hopefully in the future, she's a little bit more respectful to people who can't afford to buy cakes from her and choose to buy them from Kroger or Walmart. And I also think any of the other people criticizing this whole situation on TikTok are in their rights as well. I think there's definitely two sides to this, but at the end of all of it, y'all, it's just cake. So that's where we're gonna end it here. Just a reminder, click this QR code right here to download June's Journey for free. You can download it on Android, iOS, or PC. Or, you know, there's a link in the description too if you want to just click that and download it that way, whatever works for you. But try June's Journey, it's free, it's fun, enjoy. And now I have to thank my patrons and my members, guys. The list of names I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server, we have a postcard club, sometimes early access to videos if I'm able to offer that, and sometimes even more than that. If any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/SavannahMarie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube membership. Just whatever platform you want to join on works for me if it works for you. So with that, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Hula Chowdown, Jacqueline Nutton, Kessie Drew, KJ Barnes, Leanne, Marie Silver, Caroline Reed, Daniel Urena, Maddie Darley, Ray, Evan Adler, Kelsey Nicole, Cassosities, LaSalle Story, Fuffy Duckbutt 24 Elaine, Ferd Turgeson Esquire, Love to Be Evil, Just Mark, Baby Pink Pearl, Alice Wagner, Fallon Harris, Jessica Billhart, and Emion. And to the rest of my financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. And even if you're not a supporter financially, I just appreciate that you're here at the end of this video, because YouTube loves watch time, so they'll push my content out to more people if they know that you're sitting here watching to the end. So I just appreciate you being here. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.